Okay, welcome back again. In this session, we will explore loops and the while loop. A while loop will loop through until a certain condition is met. So let's check actually that while project under the loops folder. Okay, under the loops, so we'll close conditions. We'll open up this one. It's nothing special. And then we'll open the exercise blank project just for the sake to explain things if required. So what do we really have here? Okay, let's simplify this. Let's simply do something right here. Okay, so while the while actually statement begins like that. While condition is met, do something, right? Do something. Okay, so this is the actual syntax, and you can actually embed or nest conditions. You can do any other type of logic that you deem required actually for your program. Okay, so let's just do a simple counter. If so, we say while integer e equals to 0, for example. Or we can do this. Yes, actually, this integer. No, actually, let's do this. Integer e equals to 0, and integer z equals to 10, for example. Okay, and now we say like that. All right, let's not confuse you. And then we say 0. Bigger, smaller, or equal to what? To z, a to z. There we go. Okay, that makes sense. And then what we say is console write line, console write line. How many times? 10 times. All right. Print it out. All right. Okay. And then now if I do this, print it out, it's going to print forever. And why is that? Because I did not actually include this. All right, remember the incrementing operator and what it does. Okay, until the condition is met, print this out. So basically we'll get 10 prints out. Prints out. Okay, so let's do something else. John, and let's count how many of it. So 3, 6, 9, and then 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, because it starts from 0 and not from 1. Okay, that's why it's like that. All right, let's keep it like that with 0 and 1. Or what you can do is use concatenation and then do this and print out the value each time it goes through the loop. Print out the value of I, which is our counter, and then what we'll get, John 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. It starts from 0, it ends up to 10. Keep in mind that conditions, basically what we discussed in the previous session, are very important, super important actually, for developing your technical or computational thinking, as well as the loops, because these are things that you will be really using extensively in your program. And I said again, we can embed or nest code right here and say, for example, if I equals to, for example, 5, sort of what I've pointed out before in our source code sample, then right now, for example, 5, all right, 1 second, 5 exists. Oops. So that I exists. So if it finds it, print out that it exists, but continue actually with the printing process. Okay, so watch this now. All right, it will come before 5, it finds it, it exists, but then still prints it out because of that line right here, because we have it after that. Now we said we can also do this like that, right? If that's confusing, I mean, because the previous actually syntax could be confusing for some people. Take a look right here. The incrementing operator is I plus plus, which means I equals to I plus 1, right? But, I mean, take a look right here. I have introduced another that we can increment it actually by 2, by 3, by 4, and whatever. So what happens if I do like this? Equals to, for example, 3. I've given the sample to the right side. We can do all of these tricks. Okay. And again, loops are very important for your algorithmic development, so just keep in mind that. So it will start, and it will actually loop through 3 items, 0, 3, 6, 9, right? In our case, if I do 2, just observe this and really do many kind of, testings just to see how this really is going to work. Right here I have an interesting sample where, for example, we have total of pages 10, okay, and then we're starting from page 1. So now imagine actually you have a table, right, with total of pages, for example, 10, and each page could have, for example, usually 25 records, for example, right? So that means 10 by 25. I mean, now imagine how many records actually you have to display in the table. But to display all of those actually records, this is a simple algorithm that you need to develop. I mean, sort of, and pass on the values actually that you find respectively from the dataset records that you obtain from the database. I'm just making up things just to kind of help you out, think a little bit out of the box, right? Okay, and then we'll just write the while statement, which is pretty easy, and we say we start from page 1, and while this is smaller or equal to total pages, which is 10, print out the records of the page, for example, which is on the page, I mean, pretty much at this point. And then we have some nested logic right here. If page equals to 5, you're past 5 page already, which is the truth. And then we have, instead of incrementing by 1, we have incrementing by 3 right here, meaning that that's how we control the records displayed on the user. So, I mean, these things are very, very important that you master and that you understand. Okay, that's thank you for watching for the switch statement.